Hey guys, it's M4J here, and welcome back to the M4J network here on OpenTTD. So last week we went east out of Bahecity down towards the East Coast Mainline. This week we are heading west, and there's a couple of little connections that we're building today. This is a 4-track main line that we're starting off with. However, it does quickly turn into two-track main lines. One connecting to the South Eastern Mainline, I think it is, that runs from Hartberg down to Tuningley Estelle, and the other connecting to the, I believe it's the line that runs between Dendstone and Drentbourne. I think that's correct. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. But I wanted to create these connections here, mainly so that we have lots of operational flexibility, and that's something that we've not had on this part of the map. So around Gardcity, there's lots of different ways to get from A to B. If you're going from Gardcity, the centre of Gardcity, to Moningpool Falls, for example, you can get on the Western Reaches line at Gardcity St Michael, or you can get on the Great Western line at Gardcity St Peter, both of which go to Moningpool Falls, go to separate platforms even at Moningpool Falls. Or you could even go up via Gardcity St George and up through Punfingford to Honingville, and then connect to the Northwestern line, the North Valleys line even, that runs across to Sunnington, and then get a train from there down to Moningpool Falls. There's lots of different ways of doing it. Whereas in the south here, around Bahecity, there's kind of only one way to get everywhere. You can get the high-speed link to Tuningley, but even so, it's not what I would call practical. You don't want to be forcing anyone to take a train they don't necessarily want to take, and high speed would be more expensive in real life, as is the case here in the UK. Therefore, it didn't make a lot of sense to have these just one-way systems. So, saying that, we can't actually get to Tuningley via this new line. The only way to get to Tuningley is to go through Drentbourne, which I believe we actually have a service that does that, so that's fine. But today this connects up to Dendstone and Drentbourne via lots of different... In fact, I'm going to try and load the game up at the same time, and I'll be able to tell you exactly where these lines go to. So the first one, let me stick with what we're doing here right now. So the line that we built last week is part of the Bahecity Commuter Belt. This line that we're building right now, it will run commuter services on it, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't class it officially as being part of the Commuter Belt. This is just tying up a loose end, really, that we had from previous episodes, and we're going back like a year and a half here from when I built the stations in and around Bath. In fact, maybe even longer, since I built this station in Bahecity and started building this line westwards. There's a lot of destruction that goes on here as well. I do try and keep it to a minimum, but there are some bits here where I had to remove houses in order to get the line to run through realistically. I could have just had the stations, just touch the tips of the towns, and in some cases I have done that, but it seemed more logical to kind of remove some buildings, build the lines in, then build the buildings back, and the buildings will, of course, regrow in time. I need to remember as well that I've got towns build roads turned off, so I do need to go and build the roads myself for the towns to then actually expand over them. Right, so I've got the game open now. So the 2-track line that runs between Bahecity Tuningley and Bahecity Bruntburg Airport, that will also get extended. But you see, we went north of the lake at the start of this episode, and the Commuter Belt line, which is the 2-track line, will go south of the lake, and we'll connect up a few more of the communities there. So we got some new stations again being added to the network. We do also connect with the line between Dendstone and Drentbourne at, is it Fenttown West? I think it's Fenttown, yeah, Fenttown West. We've got high level and low level now for Fenttown West. They are still considered the same station. I've connected them together, but you could imagine like the 2 Circle Line stations at Paddington, they will be considered separate entities from one another. So you would have to go through 2 gate lines, one to come out, one to go in, to connect from one train to another there. And in fact, it's also that main line that the first branch connects to, and it runs north towards Dendstone. Although I think I will actually use it to continue running trains west towards Morningpool Falls. You'll have to excuse me, I've got really sniffly this morning for some reason. The second branch continues west. You will see how it all connects up a little bit later on in the episode. And then that runs through a couple of other communities, a few more towns along the way, and then that connects up to the South Eastern Mainline, just to the east of Drundingville, which doesn't actually have a station, which I wasn't aware of. But it connects up to the slow lines. Both of these lines connect up to the slow lines, despite the fact there is a fast line and a slow line here. It's kind of considered to be like a diversionary route for most of the main lines, and because of that, there are going to be semi-fast, shall we say, not express trains using the line, but overall it's mostly going to be commuter trains, and maybe the Bahecity Express could be, or the Cities Express, the one that runs between GSMA and Bahecity Central, could potentially be diverted this way. I haven't 100% decided on that yet. I don't think I will, for a couple of reasons. First of all, I don't think it's actually faster, because we do run... I'm trying to remember where we run these trains now. Is this the tuning? Hang on, just... Oh yeah, this is the Tuningley line. So it's not the South Eastern... Actually, it kind of is the South Eastern Mainline. It's the Tuningley branch of the South Eastern Mainline that we connect up to. That might be why I didn't recognise it, actually, to begin with. And the proper South Eastern Mainline that runs to Drentbourne runs further south. Okay, now that makes more sense. That does make more sense. So in that case, no, I probably won't redirect the Bahecity... I keep calling it the Bahecity Express. It's not. It's the Cities Express. I won't redirect it because I don't think it will be faster after all. I've got some signalling to do on this route still. I tried to put in the signals, I just haven't done the speed limits and stuff yet. And then off camera I'll start some services. I have got the 2 services that I started last episode, after last episode in fact. So we got an all-stopper that runs between Kintown and Bahecity Central via the loop that we built. So it runs from Bahecity Central, it runs southwest to Bahecity Senningbury, and then runs via Sargate and up through Tarnley and then to Brookside and beyond. And then I've got another one that did start originally at Bahecity Central, but I've actually changed it now so that it starts at... and let me just get back over to Bahecity quickly and I can tell you. So it now actually starts at Bahecity Rinfingley Airport Terminal 1. Which is the southernmost city in Bahecity, station, in Bahecity. And then from there it runs up through Bahecity Hardham, then it goes to Bahecity Central, then it takes the south to east connection at the new junction that we built last week. Then it runs to Brookside, and that's an all-stopper to... I keep forgetting the name of the station. It's like New Grarnwood Junction, I think it is. New Grarnpool Junction, where it connects with the East Coast Mainline. And, I will add extra services in the future. I think once this line that I'm building today is complete, I might in fact run services just east to west through Bahecity. Some will go to Bahecity Central in reverse, some won't. It very much depends. And actually, if I am going to do that, then it might be worth re-electrifying some of the bridges again on the northern approach to Bahecity Central, just to have them be dual voltage. I think that could work. Either that or just have them run straight from Tarnley to Brookside and not stop at Bahecity Central. That might work better. Or even go through Bahecity Central to Hardham and reverse there, because all platforms are third rail at Bahecity Hardham. That sounds like a tourist slogan. It isn't, I can assure you. No one's going to visit somewhere just because it's third rail. I don't know about you guys. I still think third rail has been quite an archaic method of electrification, and it really isn't. It's good still, don't get me wrong. But I keep thinking all future electrified lines in the UK should be overhead electrification. To me, that just feels like a better solution. Third rail is good most of the time, but it's not so good when it comes to things like snow and ice. You might have seen videos during the last couple of winters of trains arcing, where the ice forms a bridge between the train, like the third rail, and the collection shoe, and it creates arcing, and then there's also wheel slip and things. I mean, you get wheel slip on every line, let's be honest. And you know, ice is still a problem with overhead as well. In some cases more so. You get arcing there too. But yeah, I'm kind of a bit of a snob when it comes to railway electrification. I always think overhead is the way to go and third rail is kind of like the old-fashioned way. But it really isn't. And most modern trains, all modern EMUs in the UK, are equipped for dual voltage. They can collect power from third rail or overhead electrification. So it always makes me laugh when I've seen people talking about, you know, stock transfers moving from, you know, the southeastern region to, you know, the East Coast Mainline as two examples, and people saying, oh no, it won't work because it's third rail versus overhead. But actually, all trains, to my knowledge, are powered using DC motors, which is what third rail delivers, 750 volt DC, whereas the overhead electrification is 25,000 volts AC. But there is a converter on board all trains that converts the AC power to DC power, and then that's what powers the motors, and that's how dual voltage works. And in fact, old trains like the 313s had a DC bus that ran around the inside of the train carriage. And I believe there's a very similar system in modern EMUs as well. So it's very much possible. So in theory, you know, I bang on about the network as the 365s especially, and how there's scope for them to be used elsewhere on the network. They are capable, and in fact many of them were originally third rail powered. It was only after, I think, the Electrostars became a thing that most, or all the rest of the 365s were moved to the Great Northern routes. Before then, some of them were used by South Eastern and Connex and companies like that. So there's no excuses really for it not to be possible for dual voltage EMUs to be used elsewhere on the network. Anyway, that's completely irrelevant to what I was talking about. So here's the first connection that we're building now. This is the connection to the Tuningley branch of the South Eastern Mainline, and you can see how I've gone about it. There is actually a new station that's been built on this site, and I am looking at it right now in my game. It is called New Predwood West. So we've got New Predwood to the south of the city, and we've now got New Predwood West. The platforms for this station are only on this branch line that diverges off here. I haven't built platforms on the main line, mainly for waypoint reasons. Actually, it makes it easier for trains to not end up on the wrong line, mainly because I couldn't be bothered to do if functions on the signals here, not for directions anyway, but for speed limits. I have done that. It just made more sense to have it be an exclusive station, and I'm looking forward to seeing trains rumbling along this, to be honest. We need more trains on the Tuningley branch for sure, and this is going to be a good excuse to do that. The South Eastern franchise right now is probably going to be one of the largest on the network, not to be confused with the Gardcity South Eastern, which runs from GSMA down to stations like, I mean, there's the Cities Express to Bahecity, but there's also Tuningley, Dendstone, Drentbourne, the high-speed station that I always forget the name of. 1 second. It is... Where am I? That's high-speed. Oh, that's... Yeah, it's very wrong high-speed. Where is it? I think it's on the branch... is it this one? Yes, Lenway Rialta, that's the one. Both via both lines, I should say. So one goes via Denninghead East. Denninghead or Drenninghead? Drenninghead East. And one goes via the partially single track line. And then links up with the other one at Tarnway and Funston. I'm trying to find... Oh, there it is. Yeah, found it. Cool. Actually, is it... No, this isn't 2-track. This is... Oh no, it does go. Yeah, it does go single track. Cool. I'm completely forgetting everything I've built, as you can see. So it technically runs via Dendstone, but there's also another branch that goes across to Lenway. Right. I've completely forgotten where I was on the map now. I just follow. There it is. It's one thing I like about building while paused is I can always find where I've just built, because there's a huge brown line across the map where the new line's gone in. This is basically the last part of the Bahecity commuter project, like the actual infrastructure. There's a lot of work to do still regarding timetabling and stuff, and that's kind of the focus of my attention now. So episodes will continue, that's not changing, but I want to focus a lot more on getting this database timetable stock list system set up. I've been talking to George about it. It is possible that we might have something like a prototype of sorts by the end of this month. I can't guarantee we'll be working hard on it every single day, but I want to get something done. I basically want to test if this is a viable way of doing things, because I tried that with Google Sheets and it just wasn't. So I want to have an integrated system, and I might as well explain how I want this to work, because there might be some other people out there who will be able to help. Basically, I want a system where we put all of the existing timetables in, and it will tell us the running times between 2 points. So like on the National Rail app, you will put in your start point, your end point, and it will tell you how to get there. I would like it to work a little bit like that. So from a public access portal, which you guys will have access to, which will probably be on my website, you'll be able to type in any station on the network where you want to start from, any station on the network where you want to go to, and it will tell you the best journey between those 2 points. Or you can tell it, actually I was about to say you could tell it to tell you the cheapest, but I don't know how we're going to work that out because we don't have ticket prices. That's not something I'm working on right now, and I say that because who knows, one day. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is I want to keep a list of stock, all stock that runs on the network, so I can easily go, I've got 300 class 151s, that kind of thing. Problem number three, I want to be able to put in timetables, existing timetables, and it calculate platform occupancy and track occupancy. So right now, the one I've been created on Google Sheets is limited to 5-minute windows, but we have trains that stop for 1 minute. Therefore, you can't get an accurate, so you can't have an accurate reading of this train arrives at 7:02, leaves at 7:03, then the next one comes in at 7:04. We've just got 7 to 7:05 blocked off by one train. And it got to the point where I had 2 trains within the same 5-minute window, and in some cases even 3. And you end up having to put like slashes in, and it just didn't look very good. Wasn't a big fan of that. So I want a more accurate one. So the minimum waiting time is a minute on the network. There's no way of doing 30 seconds currently. So to break up the platform occupancy into 1 minute time windows is something that I don't want to do on Google Sheets, because you bear in mind there's 24 hours in a day and there's 60 minutes in an hour. So that's what, 1,200, 1,440 I want to say, but that could be wrong. Is that wrong? I might not be wrong. Anyway, over 1,000 blocks, and for that to fit on my laptop window is impossible. So having this database where I can just insert a time window and it will tell me what the platform occupancy looks like. Track occupancy can also technically be worked out that way as well. If it takes 5 minutes to run between point A and point B, then you can kind of work out where it will be along that route at any given time. Using waypoints as well for that. That's not something I'm particularly interested in right now, because station occupancy is probably the better system. But having something like that would be really, really helpful. And there was another part of that I was going to say. Oh yes, so that in future, when I'm creating new timetables, I can just put in where I want the schedule to start, where I want it to end, and then all of the places I want it to stop at along the way, and it will build a timetable that is based on keeping the platform occupancy to a minimum. So, say there's a free slot at Gardcity St. Peter between 12:07, well actually between X07 and X37, it will recommend that I have the train stop at GSP during that window. And if you put in the type of service as well, so we've kind of got standardizations on this network now, where express trains might wait at a terminus between 30 and 45 minutes, commuter trains might only stop for 10 minutes at terminus stations. So to put that in as well, so you'll put in the type of train, whether it's stopping semi-fast or express, and from that it will also help build a timetable. And it'll just be advisory, you don't have to go with it. But then you can click confirm on it, and then it will insert that into the timetable. And I want to all in one location basically for all of this information. And then I want a portal linked to that where you can type in a train number, for example, and it will tell you which service, which route, which franchise that train operates on, because that's the other thing. Every single train on the network will be numbered. So right now you've got like train 1, train 2, train 3. I don't want that. I want, 151006 as a train number, as an example. And I don't know why I'm using the 151s as an examples as examples today, but I am. So that's how I want this to work. So you can type in a station, and it will tell you what route it's on. It will also tell you which trains are due to call there during a day. I want a train search where basically I just want a search bar at the top where you can type in a station name, a route name, a train name or number, and it will give you all the information related to each of those searches. So especially if you type in a station, it will tell you what the next train due there is and where it's going, or maybe use the departure window type system where it will tell you the next like 10 trains, where they're stopping, who's operating them, things like that. And that would be really, really handy for when we do get more people on the network running their franchises. As well as showing it in the game, it can also be shown elsewhere, so people can plan out their services a lot more methodically. And that's kind of the reason behind this. So my life is made a lot more difficult sometimes planning new services. But I can understand that one thing that might be turning people off the idea of joining this project is the meticulous level of detail, shall we say, that it's gone into. And I know that this doesn't need to be like this. This could just be considered a game for fun still. But I like the idea of having this realism factor built into it. And it's something that I've always liked with anything that I'm working on. So to have someone just be able to come in and say, I want to have a train that runs from here to here, stopping here, 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 and then have a program build the timetable for them, and then all they have to do is copy that detail into the game themselves. That's a lot better than have to sit and have a whole conversation with them about, make sure that you're not blocking this line, make sure you're not blocking that line. Just having it all be done automatically. It saves me time when I'm building new services, and it will save other people time, and it will also save a lot of effort as well, so we can still get the realism output without having to put in the realism input, as it were. That's basically the whole point of this system. And George has very kindly offered up the GWR as a test bed. Right now we're just running the section between GSP and Great Winfield Airport as a test. So we're going to have all the stations along that section for platform occupancy, and then we're going to have the trains that operate. So it'll have to be all the trains that operate on the line that run between those two stations, and then the timetables for those as well. So we've got the express that stops at GSP and GWA. That will be used as probably the first one, the precursor, as it were. And yeah, that's what we're going to work with, and hopefully by the end of the month we'll have something viable that we can show off to you guys. We'll see where that we go with that. But for now, I'm going to start wrapping up this episode. You can see I'm just doing some signal work here. This line is pretty much all ready to go. I've just got some speed limit stuff to do at the western end, and then we can start running trains on this, which means Bahecity is finally going to receive more connections, which is very, very exciting indeed. But yeah, thank you very much guys for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and of course if you're enjoying the series so far, drop some comments down below. Again, if you want to get interested in this, if you are interested, in getting involved with this database project, then feel free to comment down below. Besides that, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you guys for your continued support. I'm just going to see one more thing. Oh yes, so the airport that I'm building here as well is going to get some eye candy stuff in the future as well, just to make it look a little bit nicer and a little bit prettier. But yeah, thanks again guys for watching, and until next time, I'll see you soon.